I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey folks, this is Matt once again, just doing another random review, which is kind of what I want to do right now. Sorry that I'm not taking requests, but just wanting to do random reviews. And you'll probably see a lot of videos because, you know, during the day I can be busy, but during the night I can relax and make videos, and it doesn't take long to do these. So you may see some every day or a couple every other day, because it's fun doing these. But wanted to review Night and Day. This is one of the gifts I got for my birthday, which maybe I'll show in a video down the road. But I had rented this film once before, but you know, went out for my birthday, and you know, a few movies that were $1.25, $1.25 each. So got a couple for my birthday. You know, why not? It was a gift. And I like this film, right off the bat. I like this film, Night and Day. I don't really understand why it flopped. It came out in 2010. It was directed by James Mangold. Now, James Mangold, that name sounds familiar. He's directed quite a few films. He's directed Copland, which I love Copland. But he also directed the film 3:10 to Yuma. He directed... forget what else he directed. I know it's here. I have the list. Heavy, Copland, Girl Interrupted, King Leopold, Identity, which I did not like, Walk the Line, 3:10 to Yuma, and then this film. Out of those films, I've only seen Copland and Identity. I have not seen the others. Identity, I did not like. Copland, though, I love Copland. Want to review that one day down the road and talk about more of it. And now James Mangold is going to be doing The Wolverine, the new Wolverine film starring Hugh Jackman. And, you know, he's a capable director, at least I've seen from this film, and especially Copland alone. In 3:10 to Yuma and Walk the Line, I know they definitely got a lot of Oscar nods, stuff like that. But this film, I don't really understand the hatred for this. I mean, I know during the production of the film, before this film came out, this film underwent a couple titles like Wichita. Like, I know at one point it was going to be like a hard R-rated. It was about two guys. It wasn't a romantic film at all. And then at one time it was going to be a Chris Tucker film. Chris Tucker and Eva Mendes was going... Well, I know before that, you know, they were thinking of Adam Sandler, but Adam Sandler's like, nah, I don't really see myself with a gun, so Adam Sandler decided not to do it. Trouble Man, that was another title, and that's when it's going to be directed by Tom Day, who did Shanghai Noon, I believe. It was going to have Chris Tucker and Eva Mendes, but that didn't work out. And then Gerard Butler was approached to be the lead in this film. Gerard Butler. But I think he went to do The Bounty Hunter instead with Jennifer Aniston. So Cameron Diaz was cast, and she's like, hey, why not Tom Cruise? Because I think they worked together in Vanilla Sky. So thus you have this film. And, I mean, Cameron Diaz is a woman. Well, obviously she's a woman. Duh. Well, she's a man. She's getting ready for her sister's wedding that's in a few days, and she goes on a plane, which Tom Cruise is on, chats it up with Tom Cruise. She goes in the bathroom, comes out, people are dead. Tom Cruise, you find out he's pretty much a super secret agent, super spy type of guy. And it goes on from there. What I like about this film, what I enjoy about this movie, I don't mind Tom Cruise as an actor, first and foremost. I like Tom Cruise. I don't mind Cameron Diaz. It's not like she's my favorite actress, but I don't mind Cameron Diaz and stuff. Particularly this film I thought she was fine with. Like, there's a film called What Happens in Vegas. That's a film I don't mind. Charlie's Angels, I don't own them, but it's like I could watch them. It's not like it would be tearing my eyes and skull fucking myself to death watching them again. And Tom Cruise's character is just a fun character because he's such a super spy. He can deal with these outrageous situations very easily, but yet he has this certain tone, like just, hey, how are you doing? You know, just one second, and then does this fantastic shit, and goes back to Cameron Diaz. You doing okay? Yeah, just lay down. Like, he's done this 100 times before. I like that. Brings a nice comedic touch to it. For instance, like, you know, oh, hey, come on in, like, to the plane, the pilot's been shot. He says, oh, yeah, come on in. Well, you can't sit there, but, you know, you sit here. Oh, put on your, like, he's not even looking at flying the plane. Oh, just, you know, tie that up. Yep, put those straps on. And this definitely has some big action scenes, you know, whether the plane crashing, you have a scene where Cameron Diaz is picked up by the bad guys and Tom Cruise gets on the hood and is shooting after them, bad guys, and chasing after them. There's another scene where they get on Tom Cruise's little island and there's a plane shooting at them, things blowing up. You have a great motorcycle chase at the end where they're in the midst of the running of the bulls. Really well done motorcycle chase sequence. Little bits of fights that Tom Cruise has, I thought was well done, like on the plane, him dispatching the bad guys. Very fun scene is this scene here where he gets these gnarly looking machine guns and it's like bad guys coming. Because the whole plot is that Tom Cruise is a super spy, but there's a guy working who fucked him over. And so now the good guys and the good guys think he's a rogue when he's not, and bad guys want what he wants. And basically Tom Cruise is looking for his friend, this super genius guy who's developing this battery. And it's like a battery that's a new power source. And, you know, you realize the film is kind of a MacGuffin, meaning it's not really essential to the story. It's more like, okay, they gotta search for something, so here's a MacGuffin. But it's not the most important part of the film. The more important part of the film is these two, and Cameron Diaz being thrust in the situation when she doesn't want to. And Tom Cruise's reaction to her, oh, you're doing great. You're doing just fine. And then, you know, fighting the bad guys or doing these impossible, crazy stuff that a super spy would do. It's like, yeah, you know, when you on top of the car and, you know, when you unlocked that door and that door flew over and, man, that was special. You know, you're doing really good. Like, that's his whole reaction throughout the film. Or like when they get captured, I thought it was really... It's something you've seen a million times before, but I thought it was done in a very interesting way. I mean, I think the script, or at least the way it was done, maybe it was the direction, was handled in a very interesting manner. For instance, a scene where you've seen a dozen times where they get captured and, you know, or they don't get tortured, stuff like that. Basically, the whole time, from time to time, he keeps drugging Cameron Diaz so she gets drugged, and he does it for her safety. So, like, a little bit, it's like every time she wakes up, she's in a new thing. Like, she's still drowsy, she wakes up, she sees Tom Cruise hanging upside down. It's like, hey, I know this looks bad, but we'll be out in just a few minutes. Then she gets conked out again, then she wakes up, and then all of a sudden she's on a plane. Or I think she's getting grabbed to be helped out, then she gets conked out, then she wakes up again, she's on a plane, being pushed out with a parachute, conks out, then she's on a boat with Tom Cruise driving. That little sort of montage, I thought, okay, I haven't seen that before. It's kind of funny. Every time she wakes up, like she's in this predicament with Tom Cruise taking care of things. It's like, wow, you just skip by, you know, the typical. They did capture. They did just skip that by in a very different way. I thought that was really cool. And Tom Cruise, I thought he did a really good job. Your survival. You know, with me, without me. With me, without me. Okay? You can go if you want, but with me, you're here. Without me. And I thought Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz had good chemistry with each other. And I was really entertained. And you just see the budget on the screen. They shoot in a lot of places. For instance, they get on a train, and there's a nice little fight on the train between Tom Cruise and the bad guy. Nothing awe-inspiring, but that was decent. And I remember the first time I saw the ending, it's like, oh, really? It just blows up. But watching it again, I realized it actually set up a little bit. Spoiler alert, folks. The battery, like there's a scene on the train where the kid, the super genius guy, he's talking about, well, this thing's getting hot. I don't know why it's getting hot. It needs to cool down. I don't know what's going on. Like, he's trying to figure it out. And that leads to the ending where the bad guy wants it and Tom Cruise gives it to him. And when stuff happens, ultimately the bad guy's flying and the thing's heating up. It's not working properly. It was built, but it wasn't built perfectly. It still has its bugs. So it heats up and it blows up the plane. And watching it again, it didn't bother me this time around because they did set it up. And, after that really solid motorcycle chasing, what more can you have? I mean, the bad guy, I think he was the bad guy, Peter Sarsgaard. He was in Green Lantern as well. You're not going to buy him in a fight or a gun battle. So it's like, okay, fine. He just killed, just blown up well, And it's more about these two, falling in love with each other. And just a lot of fun. It's entertaining. I like Tom Cruise. He's like a super spy. He doesn't act cocky, but at the same time, he's kind of cocky, but at the same time, he doesn't act like, an asshole. Like, he can do everything, like, perfectly, efficiently, but he has a good, like, sense of humor. Hey, you doing fine? Like, you never, like, see this character lose his cool that much. Or, oh, this is dire. It has a fun, breezy tone to the flick. I'm not sure how to explain it. And the film is not too long. It didn't feel that long, at least to me. And it is PG-13, but I didn't mind it. And the film bombed pretty badly. I know a lot of people, mainly it was because of Tom Cruise. Which is kind of weird that they say Tom Cruise, but there's Mission Impossible 4, Ghost Protocol. That film comes out starring Tom Cruise, and this big, massive hit. Go figure. So, I mean, maybe it was more than, of course, Tom Cruise. I'm not saying... I haven't seen Mission Impossible 4. I'm thinking maybe when... one day I review the Mission Impossible films, then I'll give it a look. Although I've only heard good things. But... just because Tom Cruise, he pretty much got blamed for this being a flop. And he was really solid in the film. So, I guess people got tired of Tom Cruise because of, like, his Oprah Winfrey, which I don't really understand the big deal. Okay, he jumped on a couch and said, I love my wife. Or love the woman that's going to be my wife. I'm like, wow, that's terrible. I mean, fuck. I mean, you have people fucking kids and, calling people sugar tits, and fucking, I've seen worse than, oh, I jumped on a couch and said I love my woman. I'm like, yeah, people doing drugs and fucking going into people's homes drugged out and fucking, I think there are worse things than that. And I think the big part was probably the Scientology shit, which I don't buy into Scientology, but whatever. I think that's the big thing. Like, people got sick of the Scientology stuff. I know that then there's a few group of like, oh, but he ruined Katie Holmes. I'm like, why? If that's true, why wouldn't Katie Holmes just, I don't know, divorce him? It's not that, it's not like she's chained into a fucking basement. Just divorce him. But obviously she doesn't mind it, so why the fuck should I mind? You know? But maybe it was the Scientology stuff, I don't know. So maybe people just were tired of Tom Cruise at that point. Which is too bad. Um, I like War of the Worlds with Steven Spielberg. I do like it. I saw it in the movie theater. I liked it. I liked Mission Impossible 3. Uh, I like the first one. I don't like the second Mission Impossible. I just, for John Woo, that's a PG-13 John Woo film that I thought did it badly. I think also it's because everybody hates on Paycheck, but people love Mission Impossible 2. And I'm sorry, I can watch Paycheck a lot more because it has a more interesting story. I buy Ben Affleck more in Paycheck than Tom Cruise, doing the fucking, trying to be like Chow Yun-Fat. That's what it was. Tom Cruise was trying to be like Chow Yun-Fat. And I'm like, I don't buy that, with the fucking look of the film and this, I don't know. Maybe it's a film I gotta revisit again and I'll like more, but, maybe that's a film I gotta give another shot. So, I'll leave that at the door. But I never really had a problem with Tom Cruise that much. I mean, Top Gun is great, stuff like that. But as for this film, it has a fun, breezy, entertaining vibe to it. I mean, Cameron Diaz, she's fine. I mean, she's not like, oh my god. But my favorite part was Tom Cruise's character. I mean, he just had a good sense of humor to him. She's ready to punch him, and he catches it. Like, oh, sorry, reflex. Yeah, go ahead, punch me. And then she just leaves off and fucks off. And, I mean, this film doesn't take itself too seriously. You can tell, I think that's the thing. This film doesn't take itself the most seriously. It kind of knows that it's over the top and it's trying to be fun. I mean, the stuff it does, it's like you could tell it's trying to be a fun, over-the-top, entertaining flick, and I got that vibe, and I liked it. And I thought Tom Cruise was really funny in the flick. I thought, it's not Ethan Hunt, it's someone different. And yeah, James Mangold, I think he handled the action scenes well, and I thought it had a good pace to it. But, I just want to do a little, not little, but it's not too in-depth with, too many spoiler review of 9 Day. It's a film that didn't deserve the flop. I mean, I think it was the marketing. Because, like, you see the posters was shitty. I mean, the posters of the film, I don't understand why they did this. Like, these are the kind of posters they have for the film, if you can see it. Like, what kind of poster is that? Like, would that make you want to see the film? Fucking white and white. And, like, someone just threw paint. I don't just throw paint. Oh, no, I spilled my paint on a poster. And it's like, okay, we have people in here, but we cut them out with fucking scissors. I mean, what kind of marketing is that, man? What kind of marketing is that shit? And people are like, oh, kids only want to watch younger people. And I'm like, then why do you call things like The Expendables? Which I'm glad that was it. There are other films. The Avengers, that's a big film. And think about it, all those guys are not young guys. They're not like fucking, it's not like Twilight. But I mean, that's The Avengers. I know that's a different ballpark. But there are other things that you see. Like right now, as I'm recording, Men in Black 3 had a good opening, and, that doesn't star teeny boppers. But, I think it was the marketing was terrible. But maybe Tom Cruise, but that's too bad, because I think Tom Cruise is rather good in the flick. I mean, any problems with the film? Not too much. I mean, again, Cameron Diaz, I think she's alright. I mean, she's not my favorite actress in the world. But she did fine with what she had to do. And, the ending I could deal with it more. I mean, it's not the best ending, meaning how the bad guy gets it, but it's not terrible. I mean, just when I see the setup, there was a setup to it earlier in the film, I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's an entertaining film. I liked it. I rather liked it. It's a fun film. It's a from 20th Century Fuckface, it's not that bad. So either way, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you later. Ciao.